Hello class, welcome to this week's filmmaking lesson. Yep, it's the last day of October, so yeah, it's gonna be the final round over Samsung Galaxy Note 10. So I'll be buying a Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus so you guys can make it, okay? And then give it back to me when you're done, okay? So, yeah, this week I'm not be here because I'm going to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So yeah, when it's Halloween on October 31st, you class can do whatever you want. You can make a spooky story or try to make some candies or something like that, okay? Alright, so so first we will look up on Walt Disney Home Video releases. So when you go to 2019 Home Video, then just search for any Disney videos you want. Okay, I'm looking for something. Okay, we did Descendants 3. We did Avengers Endgame. We did Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Thor the Dark World, Aladdin 1992, Aladdin 2018, Brave, A Bug's Life, Cars 2, Finding Dory, Finding Nemo, The Good Dinosaur, The Incredibles, Inside Out 2015, Monsters Incorporated, Monsters University, The Princess and the Frog, Ratatouille, Tangled, Up, Wall-E, Wreck-It Ralph, Dark Phoenix, Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, Solo: A Star Wars Story, Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace, Star Wars Episode 2: The Attack of the Clones, Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith, Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope, Star Wars Episode 5: The Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars Episode 6: Return of the Jedi, Star Wars Episode 7: The Force Awakens, Star Wars Episode 8: The Last Jedi. So, on today, we will be doing 101 Dalmatians 1961 film. Here is a plot in this film. Songwriter Roger Radcliffe lives in a bachelor flat in London, along with his pet Dalmatian Pongo. Bored with bachelor life, Pongo decides to find a wife for Roger and a mate for himself. While watching various women with their female dog lookalikes out the window, he spots the perfect pair, a woman named Anita and her female Dalmatian, Perdita. He quickly gets Roger out of the house and drags him through the park to arrange a meeting. Roger and Anita eventually fall in love and get married with their dogs. Later, Perdita gives birth to a litter of 15 puppies. That same night, they are visited by Cruella de Vil, a wealthy former schoolmate of Anita's. She offers to buy the entire litter, but Roger says they are not for sale, leading to a falling out. A few weeks later, she hires her henchmen, Jasper and Horace, to steal them when Scotland Yard is unable to find them. Pongo and Perdita use the Twilight Bark, a canine gossip line, to ask for help from the other dogs in London. Colonel, an old English sheepdog, along with his compatriots, Captain, a grey horse, and Sergeant Tibbs, a tabby cat, find the puppies in the place called Hell Hall, Cruella's abandoned and dilapidated family estate, also known as the DeVille place, along with 34 other Dalmatian puppies that she had bought from various dog stores. When Tibbs learns they are going to be made into dogskin fur coats, Colonel quickly sends word back to London. Upon receiving the message, Pongo and Perdita leave town to retrieve their puppies. Winter has come, and they must cross the Store River, which is running fast and laden with slabs of broken ice. Meanwhile, Tibbs overhears Cruella ordering Jasper and Horace to kill the puppies that night out of fear the police will soon find them. In response, Tibbs attempts to rescue them while Jasper and Horace are preoccupied with watching television, I say. But they finish their show and come for them before he he can get them out of the house. Pungo and Perdita break in and confront Jasper and Horace just as they are about to kill the puppies. While the adult dogs attack them, Colonel and Tibbs guide the puppies from the house. After a happy reunion with their own puppies, Pongo and Perdita realize there are dozens of others of them, with them 99 altogether, including their own. Shocked at Cruella's plans, Pongo and Perdita decide to adopt the other 84 puppies, certain that Roger and Anita would never reject them. The Dalmatians begin making their way back to London through deep snow, as all open water is frozen solid. Other animals help them along the way, while Cruella, Jasper and Horace chase them. In one town, they cover themselves with soot to disguise themselves as Labradors, then pile inside a moving van, bound for London. As it is leaving, melting snow clears off the soot, and Cruella sees them. Enraged, she follows the van in her car and rams it. But Jasper and Horace, who tried to cut it off from above, end up crashing into her. Both vehicles are smashed into smithereens and fall into a deep ravine, leaving Cruella and her henchmen stranded and defeated at last. Cruella yells in frustration as the van drives away. Back in London, Roger and Anita are attempting to celebrate Christmas and his first big hit, a song about Cruella, but they miss their canine companions. Suddenly, barking is heard outside, and after their nanny opens the door, the house is filled with dogs. After wiping away the rest of the soot, they are delighted to realize their pets have returned home. After counting 84 extra puppies, they decide to keep all the puppies and use the money from Roger's song to buy a larger house in the country so they can have a Dalmatian plantation. Alright, so also on tomorrow we will be doing Maleficent 2014 film. Here is a plot in this film. Maleficent is a powerful fairy living in the moors, a magical forest realm bordering a human kingdom. As a young girl, Maleficent meets and falls in love with a human peasant boy named Stefan. His love is overshadowed by ambition, and as they grow older, the two grow apart and Maleficent becomes protector of the moors. When King Henry tries to conquer the Moors, Maleficent mortally wounds him, forcing his retreat. As he lies dying, he declares that whoever kills Maleficent will be named his successor and marry his daughter, Princess Layla. Stefan visits Maleficent in the moors, drugs her, but is unable to bring himself to kill Maleficent. Instead, he severs her wings using iron, which is lethal to fairies, and presents them to the king. Devastated by Stefan's betrayal, Maleficent turns the Moors into a dark kingdom and recruits a shapeshifter named Diaval as her spy and servant. After some time, Diaval informs Maleficent that King Stefan's newborn daughter, Aurora, is being christened. Vengeful, Maleficent arrives uninvited and curses the infant princess on her 16th birthday. She will break her finger on the spinning wheel spindle and fall into a permanent deep sleep. Maleficent mocks Stefan's plea for mercy but offers an antidote. The curse can be broken by true love's kiss, with which Maleficent and Stefan believe is non-existent. Stefan sends Aurora away to live with 3 pixies, Knotgrass, Twistlewit, and Flittle, to protect her until the day after her 16th birthday. He destroys every spinning wheel in the kingdom and rides their remnants in the castle dungeon. Stefan sends his armies to find and kill Maleficent, but she surrounds the Moors with an impenetrable wall of thorns. In trying to prevent the curse, Stefan slips into madness and paranoia, even neglecting to see his wife on her deathbed. Maleficent gradually begins to care for the young Aurora when the bumbling and neglectful pixies fail to properly look after her. After briefly meeting Aurora, Maleficent watches over her from afar. When Aurora is 15, she encounters Maleficent. Aware she is being watched over, Aurora calls Maleficent her fairy godmother. Maleficent unsuccessfully attempts to undo the curse, but it is unbreakable, or other than by true love's kiss. Meanwhile, in the forest, Aurora meets a young prince named Philip, and the two are attracted to each other. On the day before Aurora's 16th birthday, Aurora tells Maleficent that she would like to live with her in the moors. When Aurora returns to the cottage, the pixies inadvertently tell Aurora of her past and Maleficent's true identity. Aurora runs to her father's castle, upset that Maleficent had never told her about the curse. To protect Aurora, Stefan locks her in the room while plotting to kill Maleficent. However, the curse's power draws Aurora to the dungeon, where a spinning wheel magically resembles itself. Aurora pricks her finger and falls into a deep sleep. Fulfilling the curse, Maleficent, intent on saving her, abducts Philip and infiltrates Stefan's castle. Philip's kiss fails to awaken Aurora. Maleficent apologizes to Aurora and kisses her forehead. Aurora awakens as Maleficent's motherly feelings for her goddaughter count as true love. As Maleficent and Aurora attempt to leave, Stefan and his guards ambush them. An iron net is dropped on Maleficent. Maleficent transforms Diavel into a dragon, who battles Stefan's guards, but he is eventually captured as well. Stefan taunts Maleficent, who is dizzy and sick from the iron, his former love for her fully gone. Before he delivers the fatal blow, Aurora finds Maleficent caged wings and releases them. They fly to Maleficent and reattach. Maleficent carries Stefan to the top of the castle's highest tower but cannot bring herself to kill him. However, Stefan attacks Maleficent as she turns away, and they both plummet from the tower, entwined. Maleficent opens her wings and Stefan loses his grip, falling into his death. In the end, Maleficent returns to the moors to its former glory, and Aurora is crowned queen to reunite the two kingdoms. Prince Philip and Aurora smile at one another during a coronation. Alright. On Wednesday, we will be doing Sleeping Beauty 1959 film. Here's a plot in this film. After many childless years, King Stefan and Queen Leia welcome the birth of their daughter, the Princess Aurora. They proclaim a holiday for their subjects to pay homage to the princess, and at her christening she is betrothed to Prince Philip, the son of King Stefan's best friend King Hubert, to unite their kingdoms. Among the guests are the 3 good fairies, Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather. Flora and Fauna bless Aurora and with beauty and song, respectively, but Meriwether's gift is interrupted by the arrival of the evil fairy Maleficent. Told that she was not invited, Maleficent turns to leave, but when Queen Leia asks if she is offended, the evil fairy curses the princess, proclaiming that Aurora will grow in grace and beauty, but before the sun sets on their 16th birthday, she will prick her finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel and die. The king and queen beg for the fairies to undo the curse, but they are not powerful enough. Meriwether uses her blessing to weaken the curse, so that instead of dying, Aurora will fall into a deep sleep, only broken by true love's kiss. King Stephen orders all spinning wheels throughout the kingdom to be burned. At the fairies' urging, the king and queen reluctantly bring Aurora to a cottage in the forest to live with the fairies in safety. Aurora, renamed Briar Rose, grows into a beautiful young woman. On her 16th birthday, the fairies ask her to gather berries so they can prepare a surprise party. Aurora befriends the animals of the forest and sings them a song. Once upon a dream. Philip, now a handsome young man, follows Aurora's voice and is instantly struck by her beauty and grace. She is initially startled, as she is not allowed to talk to strangers, but she and Philip fall in love, and she invites him to meet her family at a cottage that evening. Meanwhile, Flora and Meriwether argue over the color of Aurora's gown, attracting the attention of Maleficent's raven, who learns Aurora's location. Returning home, Aurora is thrilled to tell her guardians that she has fallen in love. The fairies finally tell Aurora that she is a princess, already betrothed to a prince, and she must never see the man she met again. Heartbroken, Aurora cries in her room. Philip tells his mother of the peasant girl he met and wishes to marry. In spite of his prearranged marriage, King Hubert fails to convince his son otherwise, leaving him equally devastated. The fairies take Aurora to the castle to await her birthday celebrations, where she will finally see her parents. Maleficent appears and lures Aurora into a dark tower away from the fairies, and tricks her into touching the spindle of a cursed spinning wheel. Aurora pricks her finger, fulfilling the curse. The three fairies place the sleeping Aurora on a bed in the highest tower and place a powerful spell on all the people in the kingdom, causing them to sleep until the spell on their princess is broken. They overhear a sleepy conversation between the two kings and realize that Philip is a man with whom Aurora has fallen in love. They rush to find him, but he is abducted by Maleficent at the cottage. She then shows Philip the sleeping Princess Aurora and tells him her plan to lock him away until he is an old man and on the verge of death, only to then release him and to meet his love, who will not have aged a single day. The fairies rescue Philip, arming him with a magical sword of truth and shield of virtue, and enraged, Maleficent surrounds the castle with thorns, but fails to stop Philip. She teleports in front of him and transforms into a gigantic dragon. They battle, and Philip throws the sword, blessed by the fairies, directly into Maleficent's heart, causing her to fall into her death. Philip awakens Aurora with a kiss, breaking the spell and waking the kingdom. The royal couple descends to a ballroom, where Aurora is reunited with her parents. Flora and Meriwether resume their argument over Aurora's gown, while the happy couple dance, living happily ever after. Alright. On Thursday, we will be doing Ant-Man 2015 film. Here's a plot in this film. In 1989, scientist Hank Pym resigns from SHIELD after discovering their attempt to replicate his Ant-Man shrinking technology. Believing the technology would be dangerous if replicated, Pym vows to hide it for as long as he lives. In the present day, Pym's estranged daughter, Hope Van Dyne, and former protege, Darren Cross, have forced him out of his company. Pym Technologies. Cross is close to perfecting a shrinking suit of his own, the Yellow Jacket, which horrifies Pym. Upon his release from prison, well-meaning thief Scott Lang moves in with his old cellmate, Louis Lang visits his daughter Cassie unannounced and is chastised by his former wife Maggie and her police detective Paxton for not providing child support, unable to hold down a job because of his criminal record. Lang agrees to join Louis' crew and commit a burglary. Lang breaks into a house and cracks its safe, but only finds what he believes to be an old motorcycle suit, which he takes home. After trying the suit on, Lang accidentally shrinks himself into the size of an insect. Terrified by the experience, he returns the suit to the house, but is arrested on the way out. Pym, the homeowner, visits Lang in jail and smuggles the suit into his cell to help him break out. Pym, who manipulated Lang through an unknowing Louis into stealing the suit as a test, wants Lang to become the new Ant-Man to steal the Yellow Jackets from Cross, having been spying on Cross after discovering his intentions. Van Dyne and Pym train Lang to fight and to control ants. While Van Dyne harbors resentment towards Pym about her mother Janet's death, he reveals that Janet, known as a wasp, disappeared into a subatomic quantum realm while disabling the Soviet nuclear missile. Pym warns Lang that he could suffer a similar fate if he overrides his suit's regulator. They sent him to steal a device that will aid their east from the Avengers headquarters, where he briefly fights Sam Wilson. Cross perfects the Yellow Jacket and hosts an unveiling ceremony at Pym Technologies headquarters. Lang, along with his crew and a swarm of flying ants, infiltrates the building during the event, sabotages the company's servers, and plants explosives. When he attempts to steal the Yellow Jacket, he, along with Pym and Van Dyne, are captured by Cross, who intends to sell both the Yellow Jacket and Ant-Man suits to Hydra. Lang breaks free and he and Van Dyne dispatch most of the Hydra agents, though one flees with a vial of Cross particles and Pym is shot. Lang pursues Cross while the explosives detonate, imploding the building as Pym and Van Dyne escape. Cross stuns the Yellow Jacket and attacks Lang before Lang is arrested by Paxton. Cross takes Cassie hostage to lure Lang into another fight. Lang overrides the regulator and shrinks the subatomic size to penetrate Cross' suit and sabotage it to shrink uncontrollably. Killing Cross, Lang disappears into a quantum realm but manages to reverse the effects and returns to the microscopic world. Out of gratitude for Lang's heroism, Paxton uncovers for Lang to keep him out of prison. Seeing that Lang survived and returned from the quantum realm, Pym wonders if his wife is alive as well. Later, Lang meets up with Louis, who tells him that Wilson is looking for him. In the mid-credits scene, Pym shows Ben Dine a new Wasp prototype suit and offers it to her. In a post-credit scene, Wilson and Steve Rogers have Buckley Barnes in their custody, unable to contact Tony Stark because of the accords. Wilson mentions that he knows someone who can help. Alright. On Friday, we will be doing Disney Doctor Strange 2016 film. Here is a plot to this film. In Kathmandu, the sorcerer Caecilius and his zealots enter the secret compound Kamar Taj and behead its librarian. They steal a few pages from an ancient, mystical text belonging to the Ancient One, a long-lived sorcerer who has taught every student at Kamar Taj, including Caecilius, in the mystic arts. The Ancient One pursues the traitors, but Caecilius and his followers escape. In New York City, Stephen Strange, a wealthy, acclaimed, and arrogant neurosurgeon, severely injures his hands in a car crash, leaving him unable to operate. Fellow surgeon Christian Palmer tries to help him move on, but Strange vainly pursues experimental surgeries to heal his hands. Nearly bankrupting himself, Strange learns about Jonathan Pangborn, a paraplegic who mysteriously regained use of his legs. Pangborn directs Strange to Kamar Taj, where he is taken by Mordu, a sorcerer under the Ancient One. The Ancient One demonstrates her power to Strange, revealing the astral plane and other dimensions such as the mirror dimension. She reluctantly agrees to train Strange, whose arrogance and ambition remind her of Caecilius. Strange studies under the Ancient One and Mordu, and from ancient books in the library that is now guarded by Master Wong. Strange learns that Earth is protected from threats from other dimensions by a shield generated from 3 buildings called sanctums. In New York City, London, and Hong Kong, which are all connected and accessible from Kamar Taj. The sorcerer's task is to protect the sanctums, though Pangborn instead chose to channel mystical energy only into walking again. Strange progresses quickly and secretly reads the text from which Caecilius stole pages, learning to bend time with the mystical eye of Agamotto. Mordu and Wong warn Strange against breaking the laws of nature, drawing a comparison to Caecilius' desire for eternal life. Caecilius uses the stolen pages to contact Dormammu of the Dark Dimension, where time is non-existent. Caecilius destroys the London sanctum to weaken Earth's protections. The Zealots will then attack the New York sanctum, killing its guardian, but Strange holds them off with the help of the Cloak of Levitation, while until Mordu and the Ancient One arrive. Mordu becomes disillusioned with the Ancient One after Strange reveals that the Ancient One has been drawing power from the Dark Dimension to sustain her long life. After a fight in the Mirror Dimension of New York, and Caecilius mortally wounds the Ancient One and escapes to Hong Kong. Before dying, she tells Strange that he too will have to bend the rules to complement Mordu's steadfast nature in order to defeat Caecilius. Strange and Mordu arrive in Hong Kong to find Wong dead, the sanctum destroyed, and the dark dimension engulfing Earth, Strange uses the Eye to reverse time and save wrong, then enters the dark dimension and creates a time loop around himself and Dormammu. After repeatedly killing Strange to no avail, Dormammu finally gives in to Strange's demand that he leave Earth and take Caecilius and his zealots with him in return for Strange breaking the loop. Disillusioned by Strange and the Ancient One defying nature's laws, Mordo departs. Strange returns the Eye to Camartage and takes up residence in the New York Sanctum to continue his studies. In the mid-credit scene, Strange decides to help Thor, who has brought his brother Loki to Earth to search for their father Odin. In the post-credit scene, Mordo confronts Pangborn and steals the mystical energy he uses to walk, telling him that Earth has too many sorcerers. Alright, that's all Walt Disney Home video releases we got. So, on second, we will be doing Emma Monkey Pictures, a Roman Cow Productions, and Donkey Teeth Company shorts. It is about a lion who is taking up the job to eat meat, but Halloween appears, and the witches appears to laugh at the lions. The lion devours the witch, who kills her, and the lions begin to eat their witch's meat, and became the harvest of witch's meat. Alright. That's all the shorts we got. So on third, we will be doing Samsung Galaxy Note 10 series. It is about Liruru, who has been kidnapped by a group of soldiers, and Tsukasa Mikugami goes with his villagers to save Liruru, but Ducky and Bunny helps Tsukasa Mikugami to save Liruru and get Ducky and Bunny soup. So as they approach the castle, Ducky and Bunny orders Tsukasa Mikugami and Shinobu Sarutobi to fetch the soup for Tsukasa's reward. As they arrive in the castle, the girls from Wataten has an idea to make soup for her classmates and eats in the bath. So when Ducky and Bunny arrives in the castle, portraying the king as an old man, the king wants to help him defeat Tsukasa Mikugami, but Ducky and Bunny was forced to have a soup, and the king was dead, and Ducky and Bunny kills the king, and he laughs, "Yes, at last." And Liruru is saved by Tsukasa Mikugami. So when they happily live together and tries to leave the castle, Ducky and Bunny realize that the soup was gone, given to Wataten girls, and while it was sentenced of a bookworm, Mine tries to cook the clay tablets, but it's exploded, and the girls from Didn't I Say to Make My Abilities are the next time looking for Ducky and Bunny, and when Tsukasa goes on to the event, that's where the story ends. Alright. That's all I got for today. Let's do some art now.